Alright everyone, and so over the weekend during the Netflix Tadam event, we got the first teaser trailer for Stranger Things Season 5, the final season, and honestly, it did not disappoint. In fact, it got me excited and even more hyped for what's to come as we're nearing towards the end of the show, how it's going to tie a nice neat bow on it, and there's so much to be excited for in terms of the footage that we got, all the new shots, and it's actually going to be even bigger, emotional, and darker than we ever thought. So, for what I'm going to break down for you guys in this video is details based on the footage and how it's going to connect all the pieces together, but also a plot synopsis that has been released and that is describing for a glimpse for what we expect for the final season, as well as a lot to dive into right now. And so, if you're new to be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so I'm on any future bits. But now, let's hop into it right now. And now, as I said up front, we got the teaser trailer for Stranger Things Season 5. But not only was this the teaser, but this was actually the announcement for the release date for when to expect it, and they're splitting up this final season in 3 volumes. That's right, we're getting Volume 1 on November 26th, which is Thanksgiving, Volume 2 on Christmas Day, December 25th, and the series finale on New Year's Eve, December 31st. That's right, we're getting the final episode of the show on the last day of 2025, which is going to be insanely big to think about as well. And especially now that that's confirmed, that we got the release date, but also we got the teaser trailer. It looks to be honestly insane, especially as it started out like the first 60 seconds with the flashbacks from all 4 seasons of the show, but this is also from Will's point of view, especially for what he has learned in the Upside Down, especially as it showed like the beginning of the show with the vanishing of Will Byers, especially when he was taken to the Upside Down by the Demogorgon, as we see this conversation between Joyce and Will, and even though that like everything has changed and nothing has ever been the same since then, especially as Hawkins is now aware of the Upside Down, especially as like at the end of Season 4, Volume 2, when we saw the Upside Down merging into Hawkins, and that's because this is the near towards end of world stakes, especially with our main characters for how that they're going to defeat Vecna, especially with everything that went down in the events of Stranger Things Season 4. It's going to be honestly totally insane. And now, on top of that, we do have the official plot synopsis for what to expect, and even for out of the pieces of marketing, even before we got the first bit of footage, I can basically tell for how like they're going to tackle the final season of the show, of the storylines, all the characters and stuff like that. But now, here is the official plot synopsis, and it goes like this. It says, the fall of 1987, Hawkins is scarred by the opening of the rifts, and our heroes are united by a single goal: find and kill Vecna, but he has vanished. His whereabouts and plans unknown. Complicating their mission, the government has placed the town under military quarantine and intensified its hunt for 11, forcing her back into hiding. As the University of Will's disappearance approaches, so does a heavy, familiar dread. The final battle is looming, and with it, a darkness more powerful and more deadly than anything they faced before. To end this nightmare, they'll need everyone, the full party, staying together one last time. Wow, just by hearing us alone, everyone coming together one last time to defeat Vecna. In the beginning of that, it says like, oh, like Vecna has vanished, but they had to find and defeat him. Yeah, that's right, because at the end of Season 4, when Robin, Nancy, and Steve were in the Creel house to defeat Vecna, everyone thought that they defeated him, but no, he just suddenly vanished, and towards the end of that, we saw like the Upside Down, the rifts, that bit earthquake, and also merging into the real world. And now that the whole town is aware of what the Upside Down really is, especially as the town of Hawkins is now under military quarantine, and that's why we've seen in like some photos that there's going to be a military presence involved. So especially with our main kids, for how they're going to ride their bikes and get around the military spots to try and to piece together clues for how to defeat Vecna, and especially as it says right here, to intensify its hunt for 11, that's going to force her back into hiding. And on top of that, for the fact that 11 is missing. Now, like, the gang might be trying to go look for her, especially after the events of season 4. The military and the government are now trying to hunt her down, and now that, like, she has more of, like, a central role. How is she gonna use her powers, especially with her connection to the Upside Down, to defeat Vecna, especially as we can see all throughout this teaser of where everyone is that we can see Steve and Dustin, and that they're probably in the Upside Down or somewhere in Hawkins' lab, and we can also see right here Mike with protecting a couple nerds, and I also we see Joyce that is possibly holding Will, and we have no idea what's going to happen to him. I just better hope that, like, Will makes it out alive, especially with his connection to not only Vecna but to the Upside Down, because everything that has happened, especially since the beginning of the show, has not been the same since then, when Will was taken to the Upside Down and he thought that he was the kid that was just missing. And especially as, I mean, the show started with 4 kids that were trying to find their friend, and now Lucas with Max in the hospital, that she's still in a coma the last time that we left her, and plus, and honestly, I don't think our main characters are safe, just based on everything that we're seeing here. And also that we see in the end, we see the military base. It's all building up to Vecna attacking it. And then we hear Will screaming, "Run!" And this is also in, like, a situation where he might die. I mean, like, yeah, this is, like, based on everything that we're seeing here. He looks to be scared as heck. And I can honestly feel that, like, this is going to be an epic showdown, not only for Will, but also with Vecna, because especially as the Duffers have spoken on information, this season is going to start with Will and end with Will, and that's why we see in the big money shot with Will screaming "run," and especially obviously with 11, that my predictions are towards the end of the show, she might make the ultimate sacrifice in order to close down the Upside Down, because especially with the Upside Down, that has played a big role for the main entirety of this show. And trust me, like, I think, like, once everything is settled in, the world can now return back to normal, but especially with the gang of trying to follow Vecna's tracks for how to fight him, and I think we're definitely going to have Henry Creel's appearance involved. It's honestly that we see Kira and Holly Wheeler, especially as someone really close to Mike is going to vanish. That's why we see the vanishing of Blank, and I think we are assuming it's going to be Holly Wheeler, and also that we also see in paparazzi photos that we see Holly with Henry Creel, who is Jamie Kimmel Bower's character. Yeah, it's gonna be even more scarier. It's gonna feel like movie quality television, and honestly, this is gonna feel like 8 blockbuster movies, with the finale possibly being like 2.5 hours long. The flashbacks are going to play a big role in that we're going to be learning about Will's time in the Upside Down. And what we also have to remember is that Will can feel Vecna. He can sense him, and that's why in season 4's ending is gonna play more of that bigger role in the final season, and which makes Will the more central, more that main character that we ever thought. Will is going to have his big moment, especially towards the final episode of the show, especially as they have teased that the series finale was going to be so emotional, and also based towards the end of that synopsis, it says "one last time," and like, yeah, I mean, that is something they're certainly setting in stone for, like, a one last final battle. Our heroes of Hawkins going out there to defeat Vecna and to put an end to all of this. And it also says that as it is leading towards the anniversary of Will's disappearance, so it's gonna mark like the 4 years since Will went missing in the Upside Down. So what they're packing, like, for like one last adventure in 1987 in the fall, as like, oh, we have our main group and we have our main boys back together, and there's so much to be excited for, and especially for how they're gonna stick the landing. And I'm pretty sure they definitely very much will, and honestly, I am ready to get emotional. So I gotta say, with my final consensus based on details and everything that we know so far, we are in for one heck of an endgame with Stranger Things, especially Hawkins blending into the Upside Down is now taking over, and now with Magneto's whereabouts are unknown, and now the game now is to find him and take him down. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get more of the Creel history and more of the Upside Down lore, all tying in together for one heck of an epic showdown as well. And that's going to be something to look forward to as fans as well. But that's going to do it for this video. Just let me know in the comments down below and what your thoughts on this, especially if you enjoyed the teaser trailer for Stranger Things Season 5. What is your hype level for the final season, by the way? Just let me know it all in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to notification bell for future videos. Also follow all my social medias or link down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.